this short video we're going to have a look at creating a profile from a text file, and we're going to use Civil for this. As you probably know, you can very easily create a profile from an existing drawing or from a 3D surface. We're going to look at a different approach. We're going to import a text file, an ASCII file, and we're going to create our profile from the ASCII file. And this ASCII file, for instance, could be the readings from the ground radar. So it could be the numerical output of a ground radar. So what we'll do is we'll select this file like this, and this file doesn't have a very simple format. So what we're going to use, which is something a little bit special, we're going to use the import formatter. This little setting over here. We're going to say OK, and then we will create a CRD file. Just going to name it like this. So to import our text file, we now have a number of options. It's not really a comma separated file, it's not really a tab file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this option because the columns all have a width of 20 characters. So I'm simply going to say the first column is going to end at 20, the second one at 40, 60, 80. That's what my data looks like. So then the data looks okay. I will skip the top row because the top row includes some header line, some text that I don't want, so I'm going to skip the row. The first column I'm going to skip that as well because it's not useful information for me. The second column is my easting, followed by my northing, and then I have my elevation. And the final column, I'm gonna set it as description. So now I'm gonna import my data. Data looks like this. Let's have a closer look. List points. So as you can see, the description changes from 1 to 3 to 4, which actually means that I have read in this case 4 different profiles. So I have 4 different profiles in my CRD file, and to separate the profiles I'm simply going to use a point group. So I'm going to create a point group, and I'm going to say I'll have a point group P1 for profile 1, and that includes all the points description 1. I'm going to save that like that. So then I have all my points with description 1. Okay, next step would be to visualize my data. So I'm going to use points, draw locate points. I'm not interested in any symbols or any other information. I just want to see the node. So I'm going to very easily click draw node, and then of course I'm going to start with my first profile. So that's P1, and my data looks like this. So if we zoom in, you can see they're all loose points forming this line. Now what I could do is I could say profile, create profile from 3D points, and then I'm already done. But we're gonna take it a step further. So first of all, we're going to create a line. Of course, we're not going to do that manually, but we have a pretty nice option: draw, polyline by nearest found. So maximum separation is 3 meters, so that should be okay. So I'm gonna select my points from the screen like this. And as you can see now I have my line. So that looks good. Again, I could say profile, and I could say create profile from a polyline, but I want to use a different option. No, let's do this. Let's say create profile from 3D polyline. So that's going to be my P1, and I'm going to call this my P1 like this, and it says select polyline. I'm going to select my my polyline, and then draw profile like this. It's my P1. Oh, now we're already seeing something a bit unpleasant. So let's just draw the profile. Let's not make it too complicated here. Okay, looks like this. So what actually happened now is that there were a number of let's say non-readings. So this was ground radar data. We missed a couple of reflections. That mean the reading is none, and it was translated into 0. So I have these weird looking and maybe even confusing peaks in my data, and that's not really what I want. If there's no reading, I basically want to have a gap in my profile, because no reading means no reading, so I don't have an elevation. So so how do I do that? There's a little trick for that. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to say profile to centerline file. I'm going to create a centerline file like this. This is my profile like this, and then there I have my my centerline. Now I'm going to go to profiles again, create profile, and I'm not using 3D polyline. I'm using profile from points on centerline like this. I'm going to go call this P1 again, override it. So again, centerline file, and now I have this interesting option here, which is why I'm using this, why I've introduced this centerline file, because I can use a profile gap. Gap meaning there is no data, there's no reading. Okay, so these are my entities. Here's a check where I can see if there are certain outliers, points that are too far away from my center line, which is not the case here. So I'm going to go draw profile, and I'm going to say OK, OK again. And now what do we have? Now we actually have different parts. So I have my profile 1 P1, and I have actually have a gap here, and then I have my P2, and I have my P3. And for the parts of the profile where there is no reading, I have no value. If I would have said ignore the zeros, then what would have happened, for instance, is this line would have simply been connected to this line, and I wouldn't have been aware that there are gaps in my profile, which could be confusing. So anyway, that's the end of this this short video. What we've looked at is importing data from an ASCII file, producing a profile, and actually producing a profile with gaps. Thank you very much.